Hey, this is the Michigan Maniac Podcast, and I'm your host, Adam Brewer. This is the reaction episode, Indiana. Before we get into it, let's do some housekeeping. There's some general notes that we got to go over. So guys, please, I'm on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as you're watching right now. So please go and support that. You guys have been fantastic. I mean, the reaction episodes are really, really popular. So please continue to watch. I love it. The big game pre-games, they're inching their way up, but I get it. I mean, the reaction episodes are definitely the more important ones, or the more interesting ones, I guess. But thank you guys so much for being supportive of this show. So if you guys go and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or heck, even go to the Michigan Maniac Podcast fan page on Facebook and leave a review, and then hit me up, private message or DM, give me your name and whatever address you'd like me to send it to. I don't care what it is. I will then send you a choice of a couple stickers. You tell me which one you want, and I will then send it out to you. Just so you guys know, the order has put in. Because of COVID and other things, it looks like I will be getting the stickers in November 16th. But as soon as I get that package, I am sending them out to you, Kent, and Barry. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much. Connor C., if you hit me up, man, I will send you one as well. You guys have been great. Now, I debated if I wanted to say this or not, but because next week, it could be a bye week or not bye week, I just want to give you guys a heads up. Next week is probably going to be a dark week, like they say in Hollywood, right? We're going dark. At least for the big game pregame, I will probably do an Ask Me Anything. And if there is a game, there will be a reaction episode. And the only reason why that is late yesterday afternoon, probably around noon, 1 o'clock my time. So that, whatever it is for you guys in different areas, area codes or whatever, time zones, my fault. I got a call. My uncle passed away. He was very important to me. He was very important to me, and I'll just put it that way. He was very important to me, and so yesterday was really bad, and today no help with what Michigan did out there on the field today, but I promised that I would do a reaction episode. My uncle wouldn't want me not to do this. On his account, he was a great man. He was a great man. So I'm going to do this. So that's why the show's going to be dark. For at least one episode, maybe two, depending, even if we have a game against Wisconsin. But if I haven't been answering too many of your messages today, forgive me. I've been on and off the phone with family and things like that to set up arrangements and things. And then we're out because I have to travel back to Denver. So anyways, let's get off this bummer and let's get moving. All right, this is the reaction episode, Indiana. And, well, what can I say? They looked awful, right? First, I gotta say, I have to apologize because I love to mainline coach speak, right? I put it in the veins and I'll mainline that shit all day long. And because of that, I have learned how to handle the high highs and the low lows, and I scream and shout. But at the end of the day, I never really am that upset about it. There are more important things in life than if Michigan wins a game or not. But I mean, it does hurt. I hate it when they lose. But I learned how to mainline that, and I learned how to deal with the withdrawals of it or the hangovers of it when coach speak inevitably turns to shit, which obviously this has. So watching Michigan in the last two weeks, I have come to a realization. This team is the 2017 version of itself, right? but with one difference, big difference actually, where we sucked on offense in 2017, but we had a really good defense in 2017. We just don't have anything right now. We're very, very inexperienced. And I know that, see, that's not the player's fault. That's a coaching problem. This solely falls on Harbaugh and Don Brown and Josh Gaddis. This falls on their shoulders. Yes, you know they were experienced. I mean, we should have known too. We should have been we shouldn't have bought into the hype, okay? Because what were you expecting when we lose 4 starters on the offensive line? We lose Nico Collins. We lose Ambry Thomas, which is the biggest loss out of all of it seems like right now. We lose all of that. And we just expect that we're somehow going to pick up right where we left off, or even be better when we lost 11 people to the NFL. We are a 9-4 team, and that's the way we have been for decades. Now, I'll get into it later on why it's different now being 9-4, 10-3 than it has ever been before, and why we were more successful back then. Just the way the numbers break out, you'll see it, and I hope you agree with it. But let's get into this. I mean, really, to be quite honest with you, our defense has lost all faith in Don Brown. I don't see them playing hard. Don Brown must hate Vincent Gray to no extent to continue to put him out there to look just god-awful. I mean, god-awful. At this point, really, what would it hurt to put Andre Seldon in? Just what would it hurt? We can't look any worse. Our cornerbacks are allowing on an average 20 yards per catch to the number one receiver. Not even to the number one receiver, to whatever receiver goes off that week, right? Like Ricky White wasn't their number one receiver, but he went off to like a 25-yard per catch or something ridiculous. Same with Ty Freifogel, 7 for 142 and 1 touchdown, an average of 20.3 or something like that. What could it hurt? Even when you go zone, they can't cover. They don't know to whip their head around. I mean, finally, Jamon Green did it a few times. Finally. But Vincent Gray doesn't know anything. He can't do it. He has like one decent play, and it's for naught. He's awful. He's really, really bad. And that's because of inexperience. That's because Ambry Thomas is gone. That's because we, for the first time in Harbaugh's probably existence, we don't have experienced cornerbacks in that position. I mean, yeah, we have talent. I mean, look how bad we played, and we still really had a chance to win. We really, or at least get back into it until Milton threw those back-to-back interceptions. I mean, Captain Overthrow, and I call him Captain Overthrow, and I'm upset with some of the things he did, but how can I really? It's me just being a very upset fan. I mean, he went 18 for 34, 344, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. On any other day, when we have a decent defense, when we have a defense bought into the system, or at least has experience at playing or can get pressure, that's a win. Our quarterback, we win that game when Milton throws for 344 and 3 touchdowns. It could have been 4 or 5 touchdowns because he cannot. I don't know what's going on. He is so sporadic when it comes to these downfield passes. Ronnie Bell, 2 times, 3 times in this game? Maybe just Ronnie Bell twice and Cornelius Johnson another time. Wide open. And Captain Overthrow clenches his butt cheeks and shoots that howitzer right across 90 yards down the field, or whatever it is. Who cares, right? Because if he cannot be accurate, it's going to hurt the team. But let's face it, this is Bizarro World. This is the Bizarro Big Ten this season. This is 2020. This is everything I guess we should have expected. I mean, Penn State, for God's sakes, lost 35-19 or something. Yeah, 35-19 to Maryland. Maryland. So Michigan, wrap your brains around this is what I'm trying to say. Penn State and Michigan are the two worst teams in the East. Hands down, the East. The worst. Rutgers is looking at us and laughing. Oh, well, we'll probably be tied with Rutgers. But is that any type of moral victory when Penn State, Michigan is tied with Rutgers for the worst team in the East? That's 2020 Bizarro World. Now, I think Harbaugh should leave. I think Harbaugh should quit because I don't think Harbaugh ever came back to us ever since 2016, the Ohio State game. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what's going in his life. I don't know what happened. But that Harbaugh is long gone, and he's never coming back. Don Brown of 2017 or 2016, right? Still, nothing. No matter what I think the defense has completely stopped listening to Don Brown. I don't know what's going on in Schembechler Hall. I don't know what kind of closed door shenanigans is going on, but this defense is quit. Aiden Hutchinson, nothing. Got hurt, obviously, I know. Got hurt, didn't play for the majority of the second half, maybe, whatever. Quiddy Pay, where are you? You want to go to the first round? This is how you're playing, huh? Oh, okay, I get it. I don't know what... We need a coach that's going to just look at them and tell them they suck. Tell them that this isn't good enough. Tell them that they can't rest on their laurels and just think because they play for Michigan they're going to get heralded as some amazing football player. They just can't. Well, it doesn't help us any when Harbaugh continues to put people in the NFL, and that's great. That is awesome. It helps the program somewhat. But when these young kids see mediocre guys go to the NFL, not even mediocre guys, but guys who don't play or don't give it their all out on the field for us, and they still get drafted, what makes them think that they can't do the same? You know what I mean? When you watch DPJ, or when you watch like Nico Collins, or when you watch certain players, I can't say Nico because he played hard. Just when you watch certain players not give it their all in big games for us, and they still go to the NFL, what is that only encourages? I know it's great for us, but it also hurts us. It's a double-edged sword. They look at that and say, yeah, well, I can do whatever I want. Because as long as I have good 40 times, as long as I have good hurdle, good vertical jump, bench press, all the things I need to do, shuttle time, that's all I need to do. I can put up mediocre numbers at Michigan. It doesn't matter. Who cares if we don't beat Ohio State? Because that doesn't stop me from going to the pros. We have smart kids who have seen the loophole, and that's what they're doing. They don't have to work hard to get to the NFL at Michigan. They just don't. And show me another player that busts his ass. And yeah, you got guys that bust their ass like Uche and Winovich and Jordan Lewis and people like that. Some of them really bust their ass and they get in the NFL and then they show out. Absolutely. But also you've got slackers who didn't do it and made it to the NFL as well. And you're going to see those guys get sifted out along with the rest. Because if you don't learn how to work hard at college, if you don't know how to have a winning attitude in college, if you don't learn how to give it all for the school in college, then you're going to get washed out in the NFL. Plain and simple. Because not everybody plays for Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan, and you can dominate those guys. You're playing against great players in the NFL. So you come with that lackluster bullcrap attitude, and you're going to be there for a year, maybe two. See you later. And you can probably think about the ones who have gone to the NFL that are no longer there. And those guys, I bet you can look back at their time here at Michigan and see that they didn't play hard either. I think there's a correlation there. These kids have found a loophole. And Harbaugh, I think, supports it. I don't know what happened to Harbaugh. I don't know where he's at. I don't know. He's definitely missing in action. I thought after the Penn State loss last year, I thought for sure Petty Harbaugh's back. And that Petty Jim is the one that I love. I love Petty Jim. I love him. Showed up for about a week, 2 weeks, gone. Just gone. So I would love to see, I thank Harbaugh for everything and anything that he has done for us. He stopped making us, he stopped the laughing stock that was Michigan for a decade. He absolutely did that, and I love him for it. I thank him for it, but it's time to move on. As soon as Monday rolls around, Don Brown should be fired. Just gone. See you later. I don't care who they get because it can't get worse than what Don Brown's doing. Just can't. The defense is nowhere near what they need to be. Our offense didn't quit today. Our offense, by the way, didn't look too awful, to be quite honest. If you really put into the grand scheme that we're missing our 2 starting tackles. So then you have to move our starting guard to tackle and then move a true freshman into the tackle position. Like that's, you know what I mean? And you're going up against a pretty decent defense. I still don't think Indiana is anything special, to be quite honest with you. I just don't. Because they beat 3 of the worst teams in the Big Ten East. When your 3 wins are against Penn State, who's awful, Rutgers, who's awful, and then us, who's awful. We're more inexperienced than we are awful. We have talent, and you can see it. You can see it if this is going to be a bad year. We're just going to have to just take our lumps and hope that next year we don't have COVID. We have a normal season. We have all the camps that we need to, all the whatever, anything that we need. And I hope that they really take these lumps. They don't get scared or quit or whatever, which they probably will, because as we've seen, Michigan is not mentally tough. They're not. I want to hope that somehow they figure it out. I doubt it. Like I told you, they found a loophole. They don't have to be mentally tough. They don't have to live and die football, because as long as their 40 times are good, their bench press is great, they're going to make it to the NFL. Like Kwity Paye, going to make it to the NFL. He can play like shit every fucking Saturday from here on out. Every Saturday, he can disappear. And guess what? He's still going to make it in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson, same thing. He's been missing in action ever since his dad called him a freaking Bosa. You know what? Hate Ohio State for all you want, but I'll tell you something right now. Those Bosa brothers, the one that I actually admire the most is Joey Bosa. He never stopped working. You could even see any game that he played against us, or any game you watched of Ohio State, you could, whenever they panned to the sideline, you know what you saw him doing? Working on his hands, working on his how he swims, how he's doing that, his placement, all that stuff. Joey Bosa did that. He was obsessed with winning. He wanted to be the best at his position. And guess what happened? He now makes close to, $100 million in the NFL? Because that's what obsession gets you. Yeah, it's bad. Sure, whatever, and if it's for the wrong thing. But when it's for your career, if it's for your family, if it's for whatever it is, obsession can be good when it's put into the right vehicle. It's the right gas for the right vehicle, but you put it in the wrong one and it could be devastating. But you know what Joey Bosa never did? He never rested on his name. Like Aiden Hutchinson does. Like Kwity Paye does. Like Donovan Jeter. I don't even know why Donovan Jeter thinks he's special. He hasn't done anything. Still hasn't done anything. Do you see the dancing that he did today with the offensive guards? I mean, that's high-class ballroom dancing, if you ask me. There's nothing. They know they can give out mediocre performances and they can still make it to the NFL. So until a coach comes in there and cracks nuts and tells them that they're not worth a damn, and if they don't give all their effort, if they don't give everything they can to this team, that they don't belong on the field. Now, until that happens, we're still going to get seasons like this. We may be more experienced next season, and that may help us win 2-3 more games. We'll probably beat Indiana next year. We'll probably beat these teams because we're real close now and we're garbage, right? Our inexperience is glaring. But it'll help us win. We'll probably beat Michigan State. We'll probably beat Indiana again. We'll probably beat Rutgers and maybe Maryland. Maybe. Have you seen Maryland? I doubt. There's no way we're going to beat Maryland this year. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way. No way. If Vincent Gray is on that field, we will even be 3 touchdowns close to Maryland. Won't. Just won't. They have a better quarterback. They have decent wide receivers and they have a better running game than Indiana. They're going to whip our ass if we play like we did today. And why would we feel like we're going to play anything different? Why? What is there any evidence to show that this team has any self-belief in it? It hangs its head at every possible turn. Anything goes wrong. I can't do it. That's what they do. And they have a head coach that supports it. I don't know. It's awful. I've never seen such crap. I just haven't. I thought maybe with that Navy SEAL, maybe that it would sink in. But when you have the loophole, when you have that NFL loophole, and they can see it, they know it, they can point to examples of just imposters making it to the Super Bowl. Man, that's Super Bowl, my fault. To the NFL. To the NFL. They found the loophole. That's it. There's the loophole. Be mediocre out on the field. Don't care for a damn. Say all the right things. Do all the right speech. Oh yeah, no, this is more than a game to us. Oh no, every game means something to us. Oh no, we're out there. We're a team. We fight for each other. We do. It's all horseshit. It's all horseshit because when they get out on the field, they show you. Like my mother used to tell me, don't tell me you love me. Show me you love me. Well, Michigan, don't tell us you're a team. Don't tell us you take every game seriously. Don't tell us that this is important to you and that you eat, breathe, live football. Show us that you eat, live, pray football, that you don't take every game seriously, that you're out there to win every snap. Show us that. Look at the lack of leadership, the lack of coaching. How many, what was it, 7 offsides today? Our defensive line, offsides. You're, 2 yards either way away from the frickin' ball? There's no crowd noise. Look at the ball. Use your stupid frickin' eyes. These things right here. Use them, look at the ball, and then don't frickin' move until that moves. It's very simple. You see that? Oh, we gotta get to the passer. I don't get it. I don't. And then when you get to you jump off sides, is that the only way that you can maybe get to the passer? Because you're trying to catch them off guard? All that led to is just touchdowns. Every time we jumped off sides and it was a free play, touchdown Indiana. You're right on the line. You have eyes. It's not like they blindfold you and they're like, okay, guess when the ball's being hiked. No, because you got 2 eyes. 2 eyes. You can look right at that little pigskin ball and you see it move, then you freaking go. Why? I don't. What is this? What are they doing? And that's coaching. That's coaching. Fire Don Brown. And then Harbaugh at the end of the year, be a Michigan man and leave. Just leave. And I don't know what else to say to you, man. You've lost it. I didn't want to say this about you. I love you. I've defended you. You guys can comb through the numerous episodes of this podcast and you can hear me defend this man. Defend him. I don't know what he's doing. He's given up or something. I don't know what's going on. I mean, Vincent Gray, get the hell out of here. I never want to see him again. Put Andre Sullivan out there, because you know what? Andre Sullivan, from everything I've ever seen, he has an attitude. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. And you know what he's not going to do? When he blows a coverage, he's not going to hang his head. He's going to get up there and he's going to make the play next time, because that's what drives him. Because I would imagine, and you could probably ask him this, I've never talked to him a day in my life, which I would love to, but he's 5'8". I can guarantee, 5'8", 5'9". I can guarantee you, everyone's told him from the time he put on a helmet, he was too short to play cornerback. He was never going to be able to make it at football, at a major program, or even in the NFL, because he's too short. You can't cover him. He's too tall for you. He's too short. He might not be the fastest guy. I don't know what he runs. He's probably not fast enough, Andre Sullivan. And he holds that onto it. He holds that in his heart with hate. And that's what you got to do when you're on defense. You got to play with some freaking hate. hate in your heart for everybody and anybody who's ever told you anything that you couldn't do it in your life. That's how you have to play football. That's how you, more importantly, that's how you have to play defense. You can't hang your head like a little prima donna. You just can't do it. You can't hang your head, because defense is exactly that, defense. You got to take the shots. You got to stop the offense. You got to be bigger than that. You can't have a memory. But that's all we do. We screw up on defense, and then we look for our mommy to tell us that it's all better. And it's not. It's only going to get worse, guys. We may get lucky and not have to play Wisconsin this week, because they love COVID more than any other school I've ever seen. They love that, and they must go out there looking freaking like telephone poles and stuff. Are they looking like bus seats to get this COVID? Because they are ripe with it. Also, so there's a few things too. Now, as much as I slam on Harbaugh, and these are all things he can control, right? These are all things he can control. And we are, and our history spells it out. After Bo Schembechler, we are, for the majority, a 9 or 10 game win team. That's it. But here's the difference between then and now, right? Then, it was the two best teams in the Big Ten had a shot at the Big Ten title, right? There was no championship game. It was just by schedule, right? So the two, and if like most of the time it was Michigan, Ohio State, so it was usually settled out on the field. But every once in a while you'd get like a shared Big Ten title with, like, say, Ohio State and Iowa, or Michigan and Wisconsin or something, because they didn't play that year. So it was much easier to be a 10 or 9 win team and win the Big Ten. Now, also, then it goes into 2011, right? 2011, they finally get into conferences, divisions. They're going to make up divisions, so this way it's a precursor to the Big Ten title game, right? And that's what they were looking for. More money, obviously. Well, they would have stuck with this division. I'm going to break it out to you. So they had the Leaders and Legends, right? Leaders and Legends divisions. Stupidest names I've ever heard in my life. Could have just been East and West and been fine, or whatever. Division A, Division B is better than Leaders and Legends. Dumb. This isn't fantasy football. It's stupid. It's not flag football either. That's just stupid names. But the divisions, the way they broke those things out, actually were great and would have been perfect for us. Okay? Look how they broke this out. The Legends part of it. Michigan, Iowa, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Northwestern. Think about that now. Just wrap your brain around that. If we were in a division right now, or since Harbaugh got here, from 2015 till now, just think about that. If we played Iowa, Michigan State, Minnesota, Nebraska, Northwestern, and then we'd close out with Ohio State. Now, granted, I know you're saying, well, where's Maryland, where's Rutgers? They didn't join the conference till 2014. And that's basically, those are the two teams that fucked us. Literally effed us, okay? That's what happened, because they did the rearrangement of the divisions once we incorporated Rutgers and Maryland. Now, I don't know why, and there's some bullcrap explanation. Well, then if Michigan and Ohio State were in opposite divisions, then they'd only play 2 on and 2 off. Horse crap. You're the Big Ten. You can make up any rule you want to. And you can just be like, no, that's not what's going to happen. If you guys have a major rivalry like Michigan, Ohio State, or Iowa, Minnesota, or Wisconsin, Minnesota, that's a major rivalry, or whatever, right? Just whatever other rivalries, Michigan State, Ohio State. Those two teams will always play each other. Always. It doesn't have to be this baloney. You can make up your own freaking rules. You're the Big Ten. But then the leaders portion was Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, and Purdue. Okay, with that being said, now let's look at how many Big Ten championships we would have already been. Now, how would we feel going into 2020 Bizarro land right now if Jim Harbaugh would have been to, 2015 Michigan State would have gone to the Big Ten title game out of our division. 2016, we would have gone. 2017, it would have been Northwestern. Only because, remember, 2017, we're 8-4. We were garbage. But we did beat Northwestern. I'd have to look that up, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, we lost to Michigan State. So we could have either gone to 2007. In 2017, we probably could have gone as well. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that, because I forgot we played Northwestern at that point. But at least 2016 for sure. 2017, it would have probably been a tie with Northwestern, and it would have gone to better wins, better losses, whatever. 2018, we would have gone again, and 2019, we would have gone again. So potentially, out of Harbaugh's 5 years so far, we would have been to 3 for sure, and maybe a 4th Big Ten title if these divisions were the same. Now you throw in Rutgers or Maryland into either one of the divisions, it doesn't matter, because up until this year, they both stunk. Who cares? But that's all I'm saying is that the divisions, once we were put in the division with Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State, it was an uphill battle. You play at that point, 3 of the 4 best teams in the Big Ten every year. And then we got stuck in a 6-year deal with Wisconsin, where Wisconsin barely had to play Ohio State. Iowa barely has to play Ohio State. So that's the whole thing. We always are going to have to play Ohio State. That's our lot in life. That's our greatest rivalry, and that's who we play. I'm fine with that, because regardless, even with the losses to Ohio State, we still go to 3, maybe 4 Big Ten title games. Now tell me, is our impression of Jim Harbaugh different, and the national media's vision or view of Jim Harbaugh different if we've been to 3 or 4 out of 5 years we've been in the Big Ten title game? We probably wouldn't have won any of them. 2016, I would have loved to have seen a rematch between. You tell me you would want to have seen a rematch in St. Louis, or no, Indianapolis, that's what it is. And in Indianapolis, between Michigan and Ohio State, you wouldn't want to see that? I would have loved to see that. That would have been fantastic. And huge ratings, because that was one of the best games of that season easily in the Jim Harbaugh era. It's the one that killed him. 2017, we almost had him too. You wouldn't want to see that replay again, because we probably would have Brandon Peters back for that championship game. Would have been better than John O'Corn. So yeah, the divisions killed us. The divisions absolutely killed us. The Big Ten did not do Harbaugh any help. Didn't give him any chance here. But that was also done in 2014. Harbaugh, obviously, as we know, didn't join until 2015. But the divisions, I mean, it's completely unfair when you have Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan in there, and then you only have Wisconsin. Oh, and Iowa. I'm never going to include Minnesota, because we're seeing what Minnesota is. We suck this year, but we're mainly inexperienced. I mean, you can't lose 11 players. We're not Ohio State. We're not an elite program yet. We're just not. Elite programs can lose. And hell, not even elite programs can lose that stuff. Look at LSU. LSU lost 16 players to the NFL. And look what they're doing this year. There's only 2, maybe 3 teams in all of college football, that can sustain that many players going to the NFL. 1, Bama, easy. 2, Ohio State. I hate to say it, but it's true. Ohio is definitely one that can withstand that kind of. They just reload. There's no rebuild. There's no inexperience. They just reload. Okay, Bama does it, and then also Oklahoma. Oklahoma does it only because Oklahoma plays in the Big 12. That's it. There's no defense whatsoever in the Big 12. It's a joke of a conference. I mean, it's like they have 11 Michigan and Michigan States and Rutgers, and then the rest, and then 1 Oklahoma or Ohio State. You know what I mean? Like, it's a joke of a conference. You've got a lot of middle decent teams, and then garbage, and then Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like Texas Tech, Baylor, Texas, very, very solid teams. Not Oklahoma. Oklahoma State, very good team. Not Oklahoma. That's the way it goes. So those are the only 3 teams that can continue. Oh, Clemson. My fault, Clemson. What am I doing? And Clemson does it because 1, they're Clemson, and 2, they play in the ACC, a garbage conference. Name another good team in the ACC. I will wait. And don't say Notre Dame because they're not. They're an independent. They're forced to play in the ACC this year because of COVID, because of Bizarro Land. Just go ahead, think about it. I mean, you can comb through all of it. You're not going to find one. But that's why. Because they can use their inexperienced players throughout the whole season because they're up by 40 points by halftime. So by the time the next season rolls around and they had their other guys go to the NFL, they can go in because their inexperienced players are now experienced players because they've had so much time to play in each and every season because all the games are blowouts. So yeah, I mean, I know I'd feel different about Harbaugh, and Michigan probably be a lot different team right now with recruiting, with everything, if those divisions stayed the same. Now, we can't control that. Harbaugh can't control that. We can only control what we have, and what we have is a shit hand. Absolute shit hand. And as we see, Harbaugh never came back from 2016. He, I don't know where he's at. Don't know. Guys, that's going to be it this week, because I really have nothing. I mean, what can I tell you? We saw what happened in that game. Eric, I want to get this slam in. Eric All is now and shall ever be called Eric 40 Hands. Edward 40. You've heard of that, right? I put a meme up on the Instagram, on Instagram and Twitter. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a thing called Edward 40 Hands. Some of the older listeners won't know this, but you get 2 big 40-ounce liquor bottles, and you duct tape them to your hands, and you walk around and you drink them, and you can't undo it until you've drank both of them. But I call him Eric 40 Hands because he can't catch for shit. It's like he's got 2 40 bottles in his hands. Because if you've seen him try to catch, Coach Speak says that he could be the greatest tight end that has ever been to Michigan. I don't know what they see or who. Maybe he stays at home and his twin comes. Eric 40 Hands comes to play while Eric All is hanging out at home doing homework. I don't know where Eric All is, but Eric 40 Hands stinks. Captain Overthrow needs to settle the F down because I think he has great talent. I am a big fan of Joe Milton. It hurts me to even call him Captain Overthrow. But, he's at least getting it. You can at least look at Ronnie Bell. Poor Ronnie Bell. He should get a statue for all the stuff that kid has been through in 2 seasons with Michigan. He's been there for 3, but the last 2 seasons with Michigan, he should be exalted. He's such a good kid, such a great player, and we do not appreciate his talent. We didn't appreciate Nico Collins' talent either. So that's what we do with talented wide receivers, talented running backs. We don't appreciate any of their talent. We waste it. Matter of fact, we waste talent better than any college football team out there. I mean, try and find another one. Texas, okay. Texas is up there. Yeah, Texas for sure. Tennessee. I mean, we are in the top 5 of college football teams that waste talent. I mean, we waste it like a government budget. We waste it. Whew, we suck. When we waste talent, boy. Waste it. But, I'm sorry, I'm getting off. I really need to go. I have some other family stuff I gotta attend to. But before I go, big shout out to Brad and Kent from Next. I want to get it right because I would know it normally, but it's Next Up on Next Door. It's a podcast. It's a great podcast. Kent and Brad from Next Up at Next Door or on Next Door. Damn it! I'm not doing it any justice, guys. I want to get it right. Yeah, on Next Door. That's right. Okay, Next Up on Next Door. Jesus, sorry. Obviously, my head's not here right now, so I apologize. But listen to it. It's great. I mean, they go over the Nextdoor app in their area, and they make fun of the people who have just ridiculous posts in that. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, they're fun. You can tell they've been friends for a long time. Oh, they also gave me a shout out in the last episode, so go out and check that if you want to. But even if I wasn't on, if they hadn't given me a shout out, I still want to give them a shout out because it's actually a really good show. I enjoy it. It's pretty funny. They go over even just like TV and other stuff. It's a fun diversion from maybe a crappy day at work or whatever. I really enjoy it. I have binged like 6 or 7 episodes already. I really enjoy it. It's not overly long, and I think you'll love it too. So check it out. Next up on Next Door. Next Door. Not next door, whatever I said. Sorry. Just thank you guys for supporting this. Yeah, I promise next week will be better. I'll get all this out of the way and I'll get my head right. And I just appreciate the support. I really do. You guys have been great. And just continue to tell everybody you know about this show because I want to be the greatest. I want to work hard at it. I owe it to you guys. If you guys are going to follow me and give me your effort, I need to give you my best effort. So thank you for dealing with me through this today because I know this probably isn't the greatest episode in the world. But thank you so much. I just really appreciate it. And it is great. It's testing right now. It's a trial. It's tribulation. It's definitely trying to be a Michigan Wolverine. But for the most part, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine. And always and forever, guys, go blue.